Hello folks, Exeter Rider here. Today you find me on a Honda NC750 and it's a DCT version. As you can tell, it's right here, the odd clunk here and there. It takes a bit of recalibration to get used to it. Anyway, let me tell you my thoughts on it. Okay, so it's a very strange sensation riding along and something changing gear for you. You instantly know that you're missing a clutch lever and a gear shifter. Yeah, it's a weird feeling. Takes a lot getting used to, but in a good way. I mean, this really is. I quite like this bike actually. I like this more than the CB500, I think, for sure. Find out how much it is when I get back. I think the DCT version is quite pricey actually, but I think I would say it's worth it. Got a nice sound, nice grunt to it. Again, you can cover some miles on this quite fatigue free. Go and fill up some petrol. It should be interesting. Alright, let's go over there, I think. Here's the stand. Stand's easy to find. Flick it over the peg. Right, this should be interesting. See if I can get this thing open. No, it's not that. Oh, look, we've got the under seat storage here, which would come in very handy. Very handy indeed. Alright, so that's that way. Oh, no, done that again. Fuel. Hey, there you go. Alright, let's fill her up with some fuel. I quite like that actually. It's quite a nice setup. Got some money there. Okay, so as I'm sat here, my feet are quite planted on the ground here. You can feel it's, you know, it's a 750. It's got a nice engine lump on it, but it feels good. It's quite comfortable. Sounds good as well. Right. It's always a funny feeling when you're pulling away, because you normally use the, even though you don't notice it, you use the clutch to sort of feather yourself along as you want to, but you don't get that with this. But at the same time, it almost feels like the DCT gearbox knows that, and it really looks after you. It's a magic thing, really. It's really great. It's great what they've done here. I could kind of see myself on one of these. This would kind of work for me, and I know the economy's fantastic. I mean, as it goes up the gears in the DCT, it selects the gear, the next highest gear, and it's already in it before you know it, you know, just to keep the economy in the right place. I don't know what this button does here. I have no idea what that is. I'll have to find out. Can anyone tell me in the comments? What's that? Sport mode, drive. Just put it in sport. I don't know if you can hear you hear a little snick, a little clunk into each gear. It's really nice. You know what? I really like this. Suspension is a little bit harder than what I'd like for this type of bike, but it's okay. Give it some beans. Oh, drops a cog. Yeah, it still goes alright. Not mega, but it's you know, it's enough for road use. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so we're in third now. Look, I don't know if you can see that on the screen. I think we'll just drop down a cog. Yeah, I'm quite taken actually with this. Still quick enough. Feels very planted, very, very stable. It's a relatively heavy feeling bike, to be honest with you. Up to the faster stuff. Change the gear again. Look. Let's open her up. Fourth gear. Again, fifth gear now, look. If I put that out of sport mode into drive, it's nice. This is very, very, the engine's relaxed, I'm relaxed, my shoulders are relaxed. This is a great bike. This is very good. I kind of overlooked the NC. It's, you know, it doesn't really look exciting to me. But what's the roll-on power like? Let's have a look. Let's take it down to 70 a minute. 65, 63. Right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Down 2 gears there. Let down the 4th it went. Yeah, it's great. This is really good. It's nice not having to change gear. I mean, with my Bergman, I mean obviously it's a different bike, but with my Bergman I did get a little bit bored of not changing gear. But this here, it kind of suits it. It kind of works not having to change gear. I like it a lot. It's purring along lovely here. Not struggling, it's just so happy. A bit like the rider, obviously. Yeah, I've also heard these things are really, really fuel economy, good on fuel economy, because of the way it selects the gears, and you're always in a high gear. It obviously keeps the revs down, the revolutions, and keeps you saving the fuel. Again, this is the sort of bike that you could just go down the Cornwall on in a day. You know, it's very comfortable, very capable. The screen again is a little bit of an irritation for me. I keep on getting these problems with these screens, don't I? Didn't have any of that on the KTM Duke 890. But yeah, it tends to keep on hitting me in the top vent of my helmet and causing my ears to go pop. No, this is nice. This is much more like it. Certainly munched some miles up on this one. Perfect for touring. This is a good touring bike. If that's what you're after, then you can't go far wrong with this one. And a good everyday bike around town as well. Gonna have to try some filtering in a minute, see what it's like. Okay, so let's have a look. 60. Is that miles to the gallon? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I got a miles to the gallon showing there, which is showing about, well, it's averaging around 60 at this speed, which is good, isn't it? The seat, I suppose you could say, is a little bit uncomfortable. I've been riding bikes all day today, so I've got to put that into the equation. You can move back enough to where you want to go, but it's a little bit hard, I would say. If you haven't tried one of these DCTs, there's something about it. It brings its own magic to it. It's one of those things that to own a DCT gearbox is quite nice. It'll be a nice feeling. Right, here we go. Look, is it going to kick down for me as well? Waiting for it to go down a few gears. Not going to, is it? There you go, a bit of braking. Now it is 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. My favourite junction. I say I'm on my tippy toes, but it's in a good way, in a comfortable way. Don't feel heavy. I feel in full control. Here we go. it picks up. It's one of those bikes that's so smooth you don't really feel it picking up. Also, a thing that you might think with these gearboxes is that when you're pulling away or going around a corner, you feel like it's going to snatch. But this gearbox that they've created is so good that there is no snatch. You think it's going to snatch and it doesn't. It knows exactly what you're thinking. It's incredibly clever. Very, very impressed with it. I just done that dual carriageway there. It just felt effortless. I think if you just pass your test and you're thinking of getting one of these, go for it. It is a brilliant bike. I really like it. But I don't know if you can hear this, but if I go into neutral a minute, can you hear this clunk when it goes into gear? That's all you get. I really, really like this bike. So it's, I was hoping right out now. Yeah, that'll do. See, in sport, it does take off, but you don't feel it. It's a bit like my old Bergman, that. Goes like hell, but you don't feel nothing. Let's put that back to... Put traction control on as well, actually. That gives me the creeps. That there, and then put it into drive. You could play around with this all day, couldn't you? No, not put it in drive, put it into... Well, out of sport, there you go. I'm quite happy just putting this in. Yeah, I'm more than happy putting this into drive mode and just ticking along like this. Lovely. Certainly covers some miles on this. It's sort of bike you want to go far on it, you know, you don't mind being sat on the motorway. So it's a bit bumpy there. Being sat on it. The suspension is again, it's a little bit harder than what I'd like it. I'd much prefer it a little bit softer than this, but it kind of goes into insignificance. There you go, I did get it out. With all the other good things about the bike. This is really great. It's nice not having to change gear as well. I don't think it would get boring either. My Bergman got boring, but it was just different. It was similar sort of thing, but not, you know. Put it into sport, shall we? See what this is like. Yeah, plenty there. Look. Put it back into drive. Yeah, this is a great motor. Great motor. Really looks after you, this bike. No change in the gears. It's just brilliant. I really like it. Would I have one? Yes, I would. It's just really good. I'm really taken with this bike. It's great having the storage under the seat as well. I know it seems a bit of a, you know, people look at NCs and think they're a bit ugly, and I would agree with you. They're a bit boring looking, but they do the job really, really well. I would encourage anyone to have a go on one before they look at other bikes in this class. Thinking about it, what is in this class? I suppose you got the GS850, the CB500 is similar in stance, but not similar with the engine and all that goes with that. Yeah, that's about it really, I think, isn't it? I guess the 790 Adventure is coming in, but that's a bit more of an off-roady bike really. A bit more of a hooner. This is a good everyday bike. It will do everything this really is, I think this is a sweet spot here. If you want something that's good for everything, this is great. I mean, even now, like, I'm just coasting. There's no you know, engine braking. It's intrusive to you. It's going down the gears automatically. I'm not doing anything. It works really well. The seat's bugging me a bit, but I think I've been on bikes all morning, so I think that's part of the problem there. When you're on a bike normally, you've got to keep a certain amount of tick over going to keep yourself going along. As soon as you take it off, you really feel it, don't you? But this thing, it does glide. It's almost feels like I'm in neutral now. I can feel it going down the gears. Again, no snatch. I'm in third gear, I'm doing 20 miles an hour. Fourth gear, 30 miles an hour. God, wow. 57 miles to the gallon I'm doing. If I open her up. I do like this. I'm certainly going to have to find out how much they are. This is a great bike. This would suit me quite well, actually. Again, I'm just gliding. It just feels like you're in neutral. You just got the clutch in. There is a bit. I'm not saying that it's totally freewheeling, but you know, you feel things working in the background. I mean, it says I'm in fifth gear now. You feel things are working, but man, this bike is good. This is exactly my style of riding. I got a friend of mine who's looking into the CB500 actually, and I would recommend this bike over that bike every day. It's brilliant. I don't know how to work the oh yeah, yes I do, manual and oh yeah, see. That's me flicking through the gears now. I'm in first gear now, look. I want to turn right here. But to be honest, I don't think you really use that. I think you just keep it in automatic. It does a better job. Yeah, this is the... Let's put it in neutral. Alright, put it in drive. Go on then, drive. Yeah, that's my fault, not the bike's fault. Alright. Again, there's no snatch to it. That's in second gear already. Look, third gear already, look. It's only doing 27 miles an hour. Brilliant. You can really just coast around like this on this bike, and it's really really comfortable. It just feels right. There's no gear changing. It's quite nice. You just less to think about, less to do. It makes you want to get out and ride. Just takes a bit of fatigue out of it. Yeah, a bit of feather into the back brake there. And again, there's no snatch. I'm just taking it easy. That's what it wants to do, and it feels right. I'm in third gear going up here. I'm only doing 20 miles an hour. It's a steep hill. This is one of those test rides where I don't really want to take the thing back. But as with all these DCT gearboxes, and I was the same on my Bergman, you don't really want to put it in manual. It does a better job when it's in DCT. Still leaps off, still pulls alright. You ain't going to be able to do wheelies and things like that on it, but for me that's not a problem at all. It just blends. It looks like it's top heavy, but it isn't. It really isn't. It glides. It actually glides around these corners. It's great. Not AT friendly, but if you are AT, then you'll be looking at different bikes anyway. Good thing is with this screen as well, you can't really see it in the daylight so much, and certainly won't pick it up on the camera. But the you see me? Yeah. But the dashboard goes green, the rev limiter goes green when you're riding at the most, riding in the most economic way. It's got a twin engine, this one, but it's got a lovely grunt to it. Lovely exhaust sound. Part of me is thinking, well, it'd be good to get a can on it, and it'll sound even better then. Okay folks, so this is the walk around. This is the Honda NC750. Again, I don't know much spec about it as per normal. I don't really need to. All I know is that it's got a single disc on the front, which works very well. Single disc on the back, which works well. It's a, I believe it's a twin. The engine is absolutely fantastic. I can't fault the engine at all. It's and the gearbox works really well. Goes into this boring looking can. But you know what? I think now I'm looking at this again. I used to look at the NC750 as being a bit of a boring bike, but it looks really good actually. It looks like it's ready for an adventure. It's got a lot more beef. The CB500, I'm putting up against that because if you're looking at the CB500, then I think you kind of should be looking at this one as well. It's just a great looking bike. I'm limited to the knowledge I know on the controls, but you've got a neutral and a drive mode and a sport. They all do exactly as you'd expect really. The sport works really well. Got hazards there, traction control, the paddles here for the up and down, well that's down and up, sorry, and obviously your kill switch and your start button. All feels good. The seat is okay. It's a little bit hard. If you're taking a pillion, then this bike would work really well because it's, you know, it's quite a nice size pillion seat, and you certainly do some miles on it quite effortlessly, even with a pillion. Fuel economy is amazing. That gearbox keeps the engine at low revs and high gears, so that works really well. It's a heck of a machine. I wasn't going to take this out today, but I was quite flattened by the CB500, and I went back and told him, and basically I said, well, can I take the NC out, you know? And he said, well, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. I don't think it is actually. I think this is exactly what the CB500 was going to be in my mind, and it just wasn't. And add the DCT gearbox to that, then it makes it even better again. It's a stonkingly good adventure bike. I say adventure in the meaning of going touring, not as in off-road. I don't think it's not designed for that. And of course, in here, let's open this up a minute. If I can. How do you do it? Oh no, it's in here you get all that space as well to put your helmet and all your bits and bobs, which again is very useful. It's just brilliant, you know. And put a back box on that. What more do you need? And it would look okay with a back box, this one. It works really well. Really impressed with this, as you can probably tell. But yeah, overall the bike works absolutely impeccably well. It's a fantastic machine. It's very suitable to what I want, and I must admit I'm going to be asking the price on this baby when I get back. I think they're quite pricey with the DCT. I think the DCT gearboxes are another 800 quid or something, so not cheap. But it's not cheap because it's a great bike. So yeah, I shall be asking away in a minute. Right, okay, I hope this is a help to you. That's better. I hope this is helpful to you. If you've kind of looked past these before, then I should go back and take a second look and have a ride if you can. You'll be impressed, I can assure you of that. Okay, thanks for watching folks, and I'll see you next time. Exeter Rider out.